This is my Bambu Lab X1 Carbon. This is a BentoBox, a third-party air filtering system for inside the X1. Power wires come out and stretch across the back of the machine and go through an arbitrary hole over there. And then they come out the bottom of this machine, ouch, over here. And this is just flopping around. It gets in the way if you're trying to pick up the machine and move it. You have to pay attention to this so it doesn't get squashed or pinched or whatever. So I would like to fix that. My goal is to build some sort of enclosure for all of this wire and have this cleanly sticking out the back of the machine to plug it in and have a little power switch, kind of like we do on the other side over here. Ideally, both cords and switches would be on the same side of the machine, but that would involve rerouting the wire, which I do intend to do at some point, but is out of the scope of this video. I started by modeling an approximation of the rocker switch and the power jack that I'm planning on using for this project. I then designed the faceplate to make sure that the two pieces fit in it. I then started designing a box around those models. The first iteration needed lots of work. There was nothing to hold the power jack in place, so I got to work designing and iterating on the geometry to hold it. Once I got the fit right, I printed another attempt at the full enclosure. This version did not have enough room to store the wire mess, nor did it have a method of attaching to the printer. At this point, I printed this nifty radius gauge to measure the radius of the curve on the corner of the printer to get a decent fit. This is the radius gauge by Fun or Nothing on MakerWorld. I'll leave a link in the description. While my new favorite toy was printing, I extended the size of the box and added a couple more screw holes. Then I added this wraparound piece to screw into the back of the printer and printed a test piece for the screw holes. The fit looks good, so then I start printing what I hope to be version 1 of the enclosure, only to realize a couple minutes into the print that, once again, I forgot to add fillets before sending my file to the printer. I'm going to do a quick little test fit here. I get the idea. Crams in there. And this cram's in there. Oh, we could use some more space, but these are just the screws that came out of the machine. Ideally, we probably need something longer. Okay, so here's the thing. I need to get this switch in line with this connector. So what I need to do is take the red wires out of here and connect them to the switch. I'm going to connect it to the black wire on the switch and then put the red wire on the switch in the positive terminal here. So unfortunately, this step has to happen at the machine. Once I attach something to this wire, it won't fit through that tiny little hole. Here's the circuit after I soldered it together off camera. I forgot to turn my microphone back on for this part, so I've got about 6 minutes of footage of mostly my arm, and I'm not entirely sure what all I'm yammering about. I unceremoniously crammed the entire circuit into this enclosure, making sure to fish it through the small hole in the bottom. I then closed the box and installed 6 M3 screws. Once I got it all buttoned up, I plugged it in and flipped on the switch for the first time, and I had no microphone, so you cannot tell what is going on at all. So, let's try that again, I suppose. This time I have a second camera and a second microphone inside the 3D printer. So you should be able to see and hear when the fans turn on. Off, on. Off, on. Ta-da! Oh boy, that smells like burning plastic. That's fun.